We definitely need God at every point of our lives, whether we're on the mountains and things are so good for us, or when we are down in the valley, we still need God. However, what we are witnessing are not just protests. We are emotionally coping now where we have gotten, and the Kenyan public is no longer shocked by tragedy, scandal, or impunity. Instead, there is a normalization of loss, a numbness towards both grief and governance. It not only slides to just grief, but also governance, but also it also comes from, I think for me, it's a form of mirroring, because whatever they say is what now what the Kenyan people are saying. And we see that there's a double standard when I think it's the BBC report that came out first, and there was a member of parliament who said, people die every day, we sympathize and we move on. And when one of them is killed, which we actually do condemn killing, and then the Kenyan people mirror back what they said. We sympathize, yes. But we move on, then it becomes a very huge problem for them. And also they're showcasing double standard. And the question is even the question right? Is this question for both the Kenyan people and the government? Are we just used to grief and governance? Because if the response of a whole member of parliament in a house is we sympathize and move on, then there are so many questionable things. We've also had the remarks that appeared to dismiss public concern, including statements implying that dissatisfied citizens should consider leaving the country. I think we also had that at some point. And in such a climate then, when the same public does not express empathy at the personal losses of our leaders, it should not be hastily judged as intolerance or we are being indisciplined because we have had that too. Rather, it should be understood as the consequence of alienation and a broken heart. Our people, the Kenyan people, are hurting and they're bleeding and they are coping the best way they can. And I don't think it's right when you slap someone and then they scream. It is not proper for you to tell them, I don't like the way you scream. Allow them to scream the way they want to scream. I don't understand how you slap us and then you tell us, I don't like the tone of your screaming. Kindly tone it down. And so it is very important for us to let us just be divine intervention, yes, but also even our value systems, becoming a good human being and a proper Kenyan citizen should become a paramount thing for each and every one of us. Where is patriotism? Not just for the Kenyan people, but where is the patriotism of our leaders? For me, I think leadership is giving up self for the service of others. But I think our leaders see that leadership is a moment for me to get richer, is a moment for me now to shine and do whatever I wanted to do, because now I am above the law. However, we still need a lot of redefining of what leadership is, what our ethos is as a country. Our systems, our value systems also need to be evaluated, because there's some things that we are doing that do not actually reflect our stand as Kenyans, our stand as human beings. And so I think that is where the Kenyan people are coming from. And it's no longer a youth agenda. It is now a Kenyan agenda. And so we should look at it from that point. Where are we coming from first? For us to change the future, it is important for us to look at not just the reaction, that these people are reacting this way, but what were the actions that influenced this? Yes, it might be wrong on how they have reacted, but what really? Let us be very objective on how we are looking at matters as a country, so that we don't diagnose ourselves, or rather treat symptoms instead of treating the actual disease.